There's been a massive change in film that is quickly ruining cinema and even influencing the expectations of the audience. There's been a lot of sequels, reboots, and franchises that rely only on either bringing back old characters or just trying to remind you of the good times. Star Wars has been doing that for a bit now and isn't really trying to make anything new besides Mandalorian and Andor, even though Mandalorian has started to fall into this category as well. Just having cameos and flashbacks of characters because they don't have a good script, and they know for a fact no one will care unless suddenly Anakin is back. Marvel is probably the one that started this whole thing. Spider-Man No Way Home was just a nostalgia run that everyone wanted to try and recreate, like Jurassic Park, Terminator, and especially Star Wars. Instead of new ideas for these franchises, instead we have to make easy money moves for some old character. It's not even a part of the overall story. It's okay to have characters do these things, but at least in a way that isn't obviously lazy and isn't obviously a way to get audiences watching that will make you the easiest money. Alright, so this video feels very short, so I'm just going to talk real quick about the issue I have with Marvel and Star Wars right now, because it was stuck in my mind when I was writing this video. I'm just going to go off script. To be honest, I know that people in the comments are probably going to talk about Ahsoka, which I have not watched, specifically because it's already been spoiled for me that Anakin is in the show, which made me not want to watch it anymore. I know everyone's going to give their reasons and whatnot, but just because he's in the show is not going to make me want to watch it. Even for reasons that, okay, yeah, Clone Wars stuff is in it too. Or Rebel stuff, which I don't give a crap about Rebels if I'm going to be honest. I never even touched the Rebels show. Whether Clone Wars stuff is in it, or Anakin is in it, or some other character is in it, I don't care. I want original stuff. When they came out with Mandalorian, that was the strongest show they could have started out with. When I watched the first season, I was like, dang, this is really good. This is something new. When Bo-Katan showed up, I was excited because it's a show about a Mandalorian, and there is a place called Mandalore, and it might tie into that, and I thought that was going to be really cool to explore more of their culture. When it ended with Luke Skywalker, I thought that was really cool. However, I didn't think that was going to be a major thing that would play in most movies and shows nowadays, where we have to now bring in these classic characters that everybody loves, and then they're going to leave the scene in that episode. Like, mind you, Luke is not even a part of this story. He shows up, takes Grogu, gone. If it ended there, I would have been fine. It would have made perfect sense why Grogu was training with Luke. Would have been fine. I would have been okay with that. They brought Luke back in Book of Boba Fett, which I forget that scene is even in Book of Boba Fett. So they gotta try to bring in old characters to then remind everybody, hey, this is something cool we made, but there's this character you love in it. That's in the show. You'll love it because this character's in the show. That's just a major thing they do with these franchises now. I think Star Wars has become more guilty of it because I find it very bizarre that you'd make a show about Ahsoka and not a show about General Grievous, Count Dooku. Even though we got Tales of the Jedi, you had some Count Dooku stuff, which was the best part of that show. You didn't do anything about Mace Windu. You didn't do anything about, Yoda's backstory. Shows that I think would be really good if you were to make shows about an existing character. But no, Ahsoka. Even though Ahsoka's show was already Clone Wars. It's like making a show about Obi-Wan Kenobi. You've already had plenty of character development throughout the movies, and then you want to make a whole show about him? Which made no sense with the consistency of his character from the prequels to A New Hope. It didn't make any sense. In A New Hope, he's not this grumpy old man. He doesn't even act like a grumpy old man. He's just this cool dude. I don't understand why they gotta make him a grumpy old man in the Kenobi show. Why are we obsessed with making these old characters grumpy old men? That feels so lazy. Because there was nothing else to offer in character development. And now they're going to continue to make shows about these characters that we've already seen. If they make a Luke Skywalker show, come on, really? That's all you guys got? A Luke Skywalker show? Even though Andor was a character and Rogue One is an interesting character, and we haven't seen much of him, so making a show about him works. Not only that, but they got you connected with characters that we never even heard of. These were brand new characters in the show that I ended up loving. Kino was probably my favorite character in that whole show. So I've just been so disinterested in Star Wars and Marvel because of this. I've looked to new things. I've given up on two franchises that I adored as a kid that now just feel stale. Marvel should have ended at Endgame, which many people agree on. Star Wars, I think, could have been a never-ending franchise of multiple different shows. I know I'm being very vague with some of these claims, but this is just how I feel about it. I could break some of these things down. I could talk about why I don't like the choices they made with Kenobi. I could talk about a lot of things. But I've just been overall disinterested. And I think because they know people are going to be disinterested is they use the nostalgia tool to then get you to watch again. Hey, remember when you were a kid and you loved this? We're going to do that again. It's lazy. It's all it is. Yeah. I'm done with that.